Guillotine here, and as a lot of you know, I absolutely adore a lot of the old Nickelodeon live-action sitcoms. Drake and Josh, iCarly, Zoe 101, my personal favorite, The Thundermans, Big Time Rush, Victorious. I adore those shows. Every single show I just named would easily break my top 20 favorite TV shows of all time, and a few of them are in my top 10, and I think one or two is in my top 5. I adore those shows. I loved those shows when I was a kid. They pretty much were my childhood. Like, a lot of people like to talk about what shows they grew up as a child. Those were my shows. Like, people grew up with like Batman or Superman or Spider-Man or whatever. I grew up with those shows, man. I adore those shows. I still adore those shows. All of those shows I just named, I have rewatched within the past 2 years, and I still think they 100% hold up, and I still absolutely love them. So, of course, me being a huge fan of the original iCarly, I was absolutely ecstatic for the reboot. And if you were around when the reboot came out, I did review the reboot. I reviewed, I think, the first 3 episodes, and I don't think I ever talked about it again. It was fine. The first season of the iCarly reboot was fine. There was things to like about it. Obviously, I enjoyed seeing the characters again. The few that they did get back, I did really enjoy seeing them. It obviously definitely tickled the nostalgia bone a little bit, but in general, I found season 1 to be largely pointless. I honestly, really, by the end of it, was just kind of like, I don't really care, honestly. Like, this show doesn't really feel like the original iCarly. It's missing so many of the key elements, not just Sam, but a lot of other things that I'm going to talk about in this review. So, needless to say, I wasn't all that interested in seeing season 2. But I'm currently like looking for more stuff to watch because I'm a little bit bored of anime right now, taking a break from anime, and I've been wanting to watch some new stuff. Cat, freaking. Here we go. I got a cat now. Give me likes, everybody. I have a cute little kitty cat. That's how it works, right? Anyway, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. And a friend of mine at work was talking to me about the iCarly reboot. We were talking about the original iCarly, and then he goes, "Have you watched the reboot?" And I was like, "Yeah, I watched season 1, but I thought it was kind of pointless. I didn't really, it was fine. Like, at no point did I hate it, but I don't really care about it. Like, it didn't have the same magic as the original show." And he was like, "Season 2 got really, really good." So I was like, okay, I'd be willing to check out the season 2 of the reboot. I was like, that'll give me something to watch. And I watched it, and season 2 really picked it up. There's a lot to like about season 2. And I know that because after I finished season 2 and I'm now caught up with the show, I've watched everything that's currently out, season 2 and season 3, because we are currently on season 3 right now. I'm completely caught up, and I really liked it. But after I caught up with that, I decided to go check out season 1 again to see if maybe now that have accustomed to this new take on iCarly with the new thing while watching season 2 and most of season 3, I was like, okay, maybe I actually do really like this show. But then I went and rewatched season 1. I couldn't get 3 episodes in. I was bored out of my mind. So yes, the show definitely did pick up. The second season and the third season are definitely getting there. And I really think the show is finally finding its footing, which makes me very, very happy because I did have a lot of hope for this reboot. And when it came out and was kind of a lackluster thing, again, not at any point was it bad, but it was just kind of lackluster overall. It did disappoint me a little bit. I remember when that thing was getting revealed, I was over the moon with hype. I love the original iCarly. It's not my favorite. As I said, my favorite is Zoe 101, followed very closely by The Thundermans, followed very closely by Big Time Rush, followed very closely by Victorious, and then I think it would be iCarly, then Drake and Josh personally, and then Sam and Cat. Sam and Cat slaps, y'all. Don't sleep on Sam and Cat. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed with season 1. But season 2 has definitely found its footing a bit. I really enjoyed a large number of episodes in season 2. There was also some episodes that definitely gave me vibes of the first season that just felt really forced and pointless and not funny and even kind of cringy at times, like one involving an influencer who pranks people. The entire episode about that was just stupid, cringeworthy, and I'm going to talk about this later on, but there's so many episodes like that, and that was most of season 1 for me. There were certainly some decent episodes of season 1, but there were a few episodes like that in season 2. But there was also a lot of episodes in season 2 that actually really did a lot for me. Like, there was a lot of episodes that really called back to the original, but did so in a much more fun and unique way, such as an episode. By the way, this is kind of a spoilery sort of kind of review. I won't spoil too many things about it, but it's an iCarly show. I don't think spoilers need to be all that enforced in a video on an iCarly show or any kind of these Nickelodeon shows. I don't really think spoilers are necessary, except for maybe the Thundermans. That one might need some spoilers. But yes. Or Zoe 101. That one definitely needs some spoilers too. But iCarly, you have this one, there was like this one episode where like Lubert comes back and like tries to sue Carly for all of the messing with Lubert stuff from the original. That was really, really, really clever. Now I'm going to talk about that episode a little bit more in the negatives, but really clever, like stuff like that. It was a really fun episode. I really enjoyed that episode as well. It wasn't perfect, and I'm going to talk about that in a point I'm going to make later on in this video, but yeah, you had stuff like that. And I also will say that the show has definitely gotten a lot more adult. In the first season, the whole adult aspect of the show felt really, really forced. Like, they rarely ever even used it. There was really at no point did you really feel like it was all that mature, even in comparison to the original iCarly, which was a very mature show, which again, I'm going to talk about later on in the video, because I definitely have some points on that. But yeah, it definitely feels like it's more mature. Like, for example, there was this moment in season 2 where freaking Harper tells Carly to put her legs in the air like she just met a Hemsworth. Okay. They say bitch a lot more in this. They said bitch a few times in season 1, but they went all like full like Jesse Pinkman in season 2, man. They were just throwing out bitch left, right, and center. They were talking about sex all the time, saying damn and shit and all that. Like, there was definitely a lot more adult things in this new one. And again, like I said, there was that episode with Lubert like suing Carly, which was a really, really fun concept, and really like it called back to the original, did so in a clever way that also made sense for a more adult take on the show, which I really, really, really enjoyed about it. And yes, the show definitely does feel more mature, and it is really, really cool to have this show that feels more mature with those characters I loved so much as a kid, almost like I grew up with them. Like, it's really cool. I mean, I did grow up with the original iCarly, so it's really, really cool now that you've reached this point, now where they're literally like dealing with adult stuff, you know, and they're talking about sex, and they're talking about sex and drugs and alcohol and shit like that. It's fun. There's definitely a novelty to it that is certainly exclusive to this show. But again, I'm going to bring that up in a point I'm going to make later on in the show. But another thing that I wanted to talk about in this is that they've definitely had a lot of fun with this whole thing. And they have definitely introduced some aspects to this show that definitely made me very happy. Like the introduction of putting Josh Peck in this show. Now, I will say, I think it's a huge missed opportunity. So it's Josh Peck, he's in the show, but he's not Josh Nichols. He is this other character named Paul, and I really think it's a missed opportunity to not have him be Josh Nichols. I mean, at the end of Drake and Josh, Drake signs a major record deal, and Josh becomes his manager. Him being a producer now and all that makes perfect sense in my opinion. It would have been really cool for it to be Josh. Now I know, Miranda Cosgrove is Megan, but it's not like this show hasn't done stuff like that in the past, like Shelby Marks and Tori Vega. Same actress, but I don't know, same actress, different characters. Like, I really think it was a huge missed opportunity to not have him be Josh Peck. Like, and imagine the scene, literally just imagine the scene for a second. They could have been like, oh, it's Josh, Freddie. And she's like, who's Josh? It's this producer guy I met. He's really cool. He wants to FaceTime me. And then they put the little thing up, and you see the loading thing, and it pops up, and it's Josh Peck, and the audience is just, whoa, holy shit. It would have been so awesome. That shit would have topped Spider-Man No Way Home, man. Oh, man, what a missed opportunity. Again, I do understand, because Miranda Cosgrove was Megan and Drake and Josh, but I still think they should have done it. I still absolutely think they should have done it. The universe that these shows iCarly and Victorious took place simultaneously, so most likely, like, Zoe 101 also kind of probably took place in a similar vein to that, although Zoe 101 is definitely a much different show than iCarly and Victorious, but, yes. It would have been so cool if this was just straight up Josh Peck. It would have been so fucking epic. Which leads me into something I wanted to talk about with this. And that is that I really feel like at this point, this show actually doesn't feel pointless anymore. Because now that the show has finally found its footing, I think there's a lot of potential here. Bringing Josh Peck in here, what an awesome thing, man. That was so cool. And when that happened, it got me thinking they could do a lot with this show. They could really make this something special, and maybe even at some point make it stand up with the original iCarly. One thing that I would kill for them to do in this show, you have no idea. When this popped into my head and I was like, that would be fucking awesome. If you are a fan of these shows like I am, then you know that Victorious, this show right here, I absolutely adore this show, never got a proper ending. The show was canceled abruptly and is the only show of the bunch that I have been talking about in this video that never got its ending. How? And it was established that Victorious and iCarly take place in the exact same world at the exact same time and basically simultaneously. How fucking awesome would it be if they use this iCarly reboot as a backdoor way of giving Victorious a proper ending? Of bringing in Tori Vega into this world, having her be like a character of the circle, maybe bring in a few more. I'm sure they could get Elizabeth Gillies in there, maybe Evan Jogia, maybe Leon Thomas, Matt Bennett. I'm sure they could get. Probably can't get Ariana Grande, but I don't know. I don't know. They might be able to work something out. Who knows? How fucking awesome would that be? The second that popped in my head, I was like, that would be amazing. Oh my God, I can't even put into words how that would do so much for this show. If they literally brought in the Victorious cast into this, a few of the Victorious cast. I don't need everybody, but at least Tori, maybe Jade, because everybody loves Jade. And I think Matt Bennett could definitely add a lot to it as well. And use this iCarly reboot as a way to give Victorious the ending that it deserved. And I really think they could do it. I really do. I don't think it would take away from what iCarly is. Because at this point, what even is the whole iCarly thing? The iCarly reboot almost has nothing to do with the iCarly web show. It's literally just the characters. It's literally just a slice of life show with the characters. That's literally it. Yes, Carly does have a YouTube channel and everything, but it's nowhere near as prominent of a thing than it was in the original iCarly, where it was basically the driving force of the whole show. Carly being a content creator basically plays no part in this show whatsoever. And it's not really a negative because, I guess it makes sense, but again, it's not really a huge part of the show anymore. So yes, it would be kind of weird to bring Victorious in, to bring cast members from Victorious here and try and use it as a backdoor sequel. I don't think it would be. I really don't, because again, the whole iCarly web show thing is basically gone in this reboot. It's basically not a thing. This could absolutely work. And they could bring them in and say, we're already on season 3 of this show. They could maybe bring them in season 4 and build them up. And who knows? I don't know how long the show's going to go on for, but build them up, have them be recurring characters and all that. Have Tori in there and be a recurring character and build it up. And when we end it, you end both of the shows. You end iCarly in another very good ending, just like the original, and you also give Victorious the ending. If they were to do this, I would be over the moon. I adore Victorious, and the fact that Victorious never got its proper ending, the ending that it does have, Here's to Us, is an absolutely immaculate way to end the series. It's such an incredible moment. But if they were to do this and they stuck the landing, and I have so many ideas for how they could do this, man. Obviously, there's the obvious thing of cutting to them being successful, having Tori go on to be this huge pop star and everything. Obviously, Kat being a huge pop star, they could probably use that to be why she's not there. Have Jade be a famous actress or whatever. That's the obvious choice. But I actually have an idea that I really like, where what if instead of that, you actually twisted it and we cut to Tori and she actually failed. And maybe you bring her into this iCarly reboot and you have her in some way get her love of music reignited and have her want to start chasing this dream again, and maybe she's she becomes a big part of the show. How epic would that be? And then as the show keeps going and you have Tori in there, when you get to the end, nail it. Stick the landing and give Victorious the ending that it deserved all these years. Just imagine how amazing that would be. I never said this was a review of iCarly, I'm really just talking about it, but I cannot even put into words how incredible that would be if they did that. If they did that, everything that I'm about to rant about in a few minutes here, I would take it all back. If this show, if they do this idea, which I absolutely think could work, I really do not think that this is a dumb idea, what I'm saying right now. Yes, iCarly has a ton of fans but most of iCarly fans love Victorious as well. And if you did this, holy shit, it would be amazing. It would be fucking amazing. I would be speechless. I would be utterly speechless if they did this. With that being said, I now have to address the elephant in the room. As much as I have enjoyed the iCarly reboot recently, I've literally binged through season 2 and everything that season 3 has right now, and I really, really like it. I really like where we are right now. I genuinely like the show. After season 1, I honestly didn't even know if I even cared about the show. At this point, I like the show. I am excited to see the rest of it. But with that being said, this show still does not hold a candle to the original iCarly in any way. And there's a lot of things about it that just baffle me of how much this show is failing to be worthy of iCarly. Because this show is supposed to be this adult take on iCarly, of course, where all the characters are adult. But if you watched the original iCarly was absolutely more mature and more adult than this new reboot is. You don't believe me? Think about this. You have that episode where Lubert comes in and sues Carly. Again, I like that episode. It's a clever concept. But that entire episode, the whole lawsuit part of it is just played for laughs. The entire episode is. And the way that Carly swings it into her favor is very forced, kind of. It kind of doesn't, I don't know. I wasn't crazy about the way it went. I loved the concept of the episode, and there were things about that episode I really loved, like how they brought in Chuck from the original series and Guppy, happy birthday! I just liked it when I used to say happy birthday. You wish it was water, like that was gold. That was gold. But then you had the way she won it, where she makes him go all feral Lubert again, and you go, okay. And then she gets sued for $250,000, and then she's just like, Spencer paid it off because he's rich now. Okay, so that whole episode, that is this very adult topic about being sued, a very, very, very serious adult topic, was just played for jokes. Yes, a comedy series. Yes, it is a comedy series, but the whole episode, a very adult topic, just played for jokes in this show that is aimed at adults. Go back to the original iCarly. How many times in the original iCarly was someone's life put in danger? I don't think you could get through 5 episodes of that original iCarly show where someone's life was not put in danger. And really it all comes down to those episodic situations that all these shows that I talked about in this video did so goddamn well. Because they came up with situations, and the way that they went through them was actually engaging. Like, for example, you have that one episode where Neville tries to get iCarly shut down with this, like, car giveaway that he, like, scams them with. And this whole episode, you're like, are they gonna be able to do this? And there's actual, like, you literally feel like there might be stakes here. Like, holy shit, he could actually win here because they can't get him a car. And there was stuff like that. I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, them losing their website doesn't really hurt anybody. It's kind of a harmless thing, but it engaged you and you felt it. Compare that to this, like, lawsuit episode. The whole episode, the way that they vibe it, the way this whole show, this whole reboot has been vibed, you don't feel anything. You don't feel any stakes. You don't feel any stakes for Carly. And then you get to the end of the episode and they're just like, Spencer paid it off. I got sued and Spencer paid it off. The magic of that original iCarly is nowhere to be seen. Like in that episode in season 1 where they got like in that like pyramid scheme thing, the whole episode, you don't feel anything. The vibe is not there. You do not get engaged with it. You don't feel like there's stakes here. You don't feel like anything is really gonna happen at any point. And then of course you get through the episode and nothing happens. And yes, iCarly definitely also has stuff like that, where you go through the episode and you kind of know that obviously by the end of it, everything's going to be fine because there's still 500 more episodes to go. But it's like, it definitely does not have that same engagement. And then you bring in some of the stuff from the original iCarly that was literally life and death. Like, how about the episode where Sam and Carly split up because they get in a fight and they start making an individual web show, and the episode ends with Carly on this window washing platform that snaps and she's holding onto the bar, literally almost about to fall to her death from like a 50-story building. Or how about the episode where where the whole gang gets kidnapped by an absolute psycho chick who puts her brother in a literal saw machine in the fucking basement that spins him around and literally says to her, if he keeps spinning like that, his fucking brain's gonna turn to mush. This is a kid's show from over a decade ago. And it is so much darker and so much more mature and so much more engaging than this current show that is aimed towards adults. What is the excuse there? And it's for that reason that this show, even though it has found its footing and it is good and I do like it, it doesn't even touch the original iCarly. Not one episode of this new reboot ranks above a single episode of the original iCarly. And it has nothing to do with Sam's absence. Harper is a really good character. She's not Sam level by any means, and she never will be. But Harper is a good character that does work well and bounce well with Miranda Cosgrove and Carly. She is a good character. And Freddie and them, they have really good chemistry. They've even brought in some new characters that are really fun, like Millicent and Pearl, who I really, really liked, and I hope we get to see more of. And then you had characters like... And at this point, you have Freddie's mom getting freaking engaged, which I actually really liked. It comes kind of suddenly, but I really liked it. It's character development. Freddie getting engaged to Lubert. That's good character development. Yo, we get a little bit more with Freddie, with Freddie's mom. She's doing a little bit more now, and now Lubert's here, and this is a fun connection. I mean, they always had that thing in the original. They always kind of had that little spark between them in the original, and here we are, and this is character development. You have Freddie and Carly finally getting together and feeling definitely the most real it has ever felt in the entire series. I mean, because they're adults now, and you know that love as a kid is so different than love as an adult. And now that Freddie and Carly are adults and they're in love, you absolutely feel the sparks like you never felt in the original when they ever tried to do that, because that was the point. The whole point in the original was that there was no sparks because it wasn't really there. Now they're adults, they've realized it, and it works. That's why that was easily the best episode of the show so far, when they got together, when he goes up there and there's that little arch of all the memories. That was incredible. That gave me flashbacks of old iCarly. That was absolutely phenomenal. But honestly, that's like the only part of this show that has stood out to me. I have enjoyed every episode of season 2, with some exceptions. And yet, I still don't have any... There's still not even that episode does not top a single episode of the original iCarly. And I feel like this new reboot just doesn't want to go for it. Like... They brought Nora Dershlit in there, but she did almost nothing. This is a character that literally the last time we saw her in Sam and Cat was literally portrayed to be literal Hannibal Lecter. And now she comes into this iCarly reboot in season 1 and basically does nothing. She doesn't act like a crazy person like all 4 times we've seen her in the past. She basically just acts like a normal person. And it's like... Where is that iCarly energy? Where is that getting engaged with all of these episodic situations? Where's the stakes? Where's the, drama and all that? How am I supposed to feel anything like this? That's what made that show so goddamn amazing. And it's just like, why do you exist? That's my major problem with this reboot. I like it. At this point, I genuinely like it. But, again, why is it here? Especially, I mean... It's cool that we're getting an iCarly reboot, but why iCarly? The show with arguably the best ending of the whole bunch. I would argue Zoe 101 does beat it, but arguably the best ending of the whole thing. Like, iCarly's ending was immaculate. I still remember when I watched that ending as a kid. Sorry, y'all, I keep hearing weird noises out there. I still remember when I was a kid watching that final episode. I remember I didn't even know it was the final episode. I just sat down to watch it was time to watch the new episode of iCarly, and you go through this whole episode and it's building up to this climax, and you get there and it ends and you're like, wait, did the show just end? And I was like, Mom, wait, did the show just end? And we looked it up on the internet, and sure enough, iCarly canceled. And even when I was a kid, I wasn't sad because that ending was so perfect and gave closure to every single character so perfectly. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And this is the show that gets this reboot that really doesn't feel like it needs to? I don't know, man. I really don't know. I do like this show. And if you are an iCarly fan like me, I would recommend watching it. I would. But temper your expectations, because this show does not live up to the original iCarly. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give me a like. And this is DJ Guillotine, signing out. Leave me your thoughts in the comments down below as well. I would really, really love to hear some other people's takes on all this. And let me know what you think of my whole victorious finale thing I put in there as well. I think that could be awesome, dude. Like, that could absolutely take away the whole, like, this show kind of feels kind of pointless and all that. That would take that away. If they did that, what I was talking about there with bringing Tori in there and using this as a way to give Victorious that finale it deserved, this entire part of the video, take it out, man, because that would be incredible. That would, oh my God, that'd be fucking amazing. It would be so brilliant. Oh my God. But thank you all so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it again. And this is DJ Guillotine, signing out.